I didn't brush my hair before I got on live, but here we are, our second live. Today I was thinking about buyers because it's the first of the year and that's what everyone says. I'm gonna buy next year. So here we are in next year. I didn't even check this disc. Excuse me. If you guys follow me on Facebook, then you know that I was sick for like 2 weeks and it was terrible. I said I was gonna play some music through this. Um, but yes, so this is all about buyers. I'm all about buyers right now because that's who I work with. That's who I'm close with, buyers and renters. And that's what we're talking about today. So there's 5 steps that I put in my buyer's guide when I meet with a new buyer. And so I figured going through all 5 steps in one live would be a headache for me and you. So I said I'll break it up into 5 different lives. And then if I need to go back, I will go back. But here we are today talking about this one, finances. So, and if you're catching the replay, you can still comment on the replay, I believe. And if you're on my Facebook and you see the replay, feel free to DM me. You guys DM me anyway. So I get so many questions. That's another reason I'm doing this because I get so many questions in the DMs that sometimes, to be honest, it's overwhelming to respond. So, yeah, sometimes it's really, share screen, let's see. Oh, sometimes it's really overwhelming to respond. Like right now, I probably have, I'm ashamed to say, so many DMs to respond to. And I try to get back to them as quickly as possible. But I'm active on Facebook. I'm active on YouTube now. I'm active on Instagram. And then I have my Facebook page, my business page. So just think all those DMs, I'm trying to manage those. So I'm getting a process to manage them. But yeah, so working on that. So yeah, if you send me a message in the DMs, sorry, please be patient. But also remember, my number is like my phone number, my telephone number, my text. My number is on there, like 713-805-9650. So you can always text me a question, and I feel like I'll get back way faster than I think I have 14,000 people on my Facebook now, which is such a blessing. No complaints. I've gotten Facebook leads, people who want to buy and sell with me on Facebook. So I appreciate you guys. Don't get me wrong. But if you need an immediate response or if you really have a question, I've had people just pick up the phone and call me, and not calling me on Facebook, call me on my cell phone. But yeah, so I'm probably going to share. Oh, let me see. Let me cancel this. I'm going to share this buyer's step that I put together in a moment. Let's see. I'll give people like 5 minutes to get in here. And I think I'm going to put this a little bit lower without trying to knock stuff over. Okay. I wish I could. I don't know if you guys were here last time when I was trying to go live on both Facebook and YouTube. It was not easy. So I don't know if I can do it. Because last time I tried and then the sound on here didn't work and I ended up deleting it and I was not very happy about that. Again, working through the kinks, I should I try again? Let's see. If I go live on Facebook, this is why now when I see people have lives, they're like, hey, this person, go live on this platform because it's not easy to do it and think about, oh, what am I supposed to say next, type of thing. So let's see. If I wanted to go live on Facebook, what would that look like? Let me go here. Okay, let's see, live. Tap to add a description. Let me see, what description do I want to say? I think I added the description of step 1 of the home buying process in finances. Yes. So guys, I just learned the coolest thing. If you copy from your MacBook and you just click paste on your phone, it will paste it. Boom. It will paste it right there. Let's say feeling happy. I'm going to tag my business page. Boom. Done. 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 All right, guys. I'm going to try this again, but we know what happened last time. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Take this off. All right. It's been like 5 minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and go. Your live video will also be added to your story. Fine. Okay, so now it looks like I'm going live in both places. Hopefully I'm going live in both places. It says comments will appear here. So it looks like I'm on Facebook and I am on YouTube. So today I am talking about buyers. I've been on the phone since last year. All my deals are with buyers or renters. And I'm like, okay, a lot of people in my DMs, especially on Facebook, people DM me a lot. It's buyers that have questions about the marketplace. They have questions about their finances. They have so many questions. And sometimes it's hard to get, I told this to YouTube already, sometimes it's hard to get back to everyone in the DMs because the DMs can get a little crazy. My phones can get a little crazy. You guys know that I'm in classes. So it's just keeping up with it all can be tough, but it's a blessing to have that. So today what I want to talk about is step 1 of my buyer consultation. So when I have a new buyer, I give them a packet. I give them a packet and basically it has 5 steps in it. And the first steps, even though the first step people think is like the home searching steps, let's go look at homes. Stop there. Before we start looking at the home of your dream, we recommend that you look at a full picture of your finances, unless you'll be paying cash, which is great too. We still want to know how much cash will you be bringing to the table. And if it's all 960,000, that's great. But I still need to know that, right? So let me see if I can share my slides. So yeah, let's see. I put together some slides for this, but only people that will be able to see the slides are on, because I don't think I can share slides on here. What does this mean? No, that's guest requests. Okay, so yeah, the only people that will see the slides are on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook and you want to see the slides, and you can just hop over to YouTube because the YouTube link is there. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's jump into it. So basically today we're talking about step 1 of the buyer process, which is finances. And I know a lot of people panic when they hear that word finances, dun, dun, dun. I don't feel like it's a scary word. It's not math class. And that's why you have me and my team of people to help you through this entire process. So this is simply about getting clear so you can move forward confidently when the right home shows up. Because the last thing we want to do is find your favorite home, and then you're not prepared on the finance side. So drop it in the chat if you're watching me live and tell me, let me see what I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me if you're buying in the next 6 months. So summertime, you'll be in your own house. You plan to be in your own house. It's your goal to be in your own house by summertime. Or if you're buying this year, or if you're just gathering information, because I meet people from all stages. So yeah. So step one, finances, understanding your financial foundation for home ownership. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen on a YouTube. Let's see which window. I want to share this one, I think. Let's see, previous. Okay, yeah, this is the one I want to share. Okay, you guys know this. I'm always working out the kinks. So, all right, sharing that screen on YouTube. So, step one, like I said, financial. Oh yeah, I created this in Claude, so I'm very proud of Claude because Claude and I is AI. That's another thing I could probably do a live on. I've been learning so much about AI, but basically it just makes my job easier, right? So I have all this information either in a Notes app or in my buyer consultation, and it helps me reproduce it very quickly. So that's what you're seeing here is an artifact from Claude. So let's go to the next slide so we can get on with this presentation. Okay, so today what we'll cover. So gathering your financial documents. This is a big one because it will hold you up. Okay, number two, obtaining pre-approval or proof of funds. We'll talk more about what each one of those means and who it applies to. Sourcing your down payment funds. If you need a down payment, if you're paying cash, you don't need necessarily a down payment. And then preparing for additional costs. So we'll go through all of those. It's going to be a high level going through these, but I do think once you start wrapping your head around what each of these words mean, you will come up with even better questions. Will you be an expert at the end of this live? No. I don't feel like I'm an expert. I learn something new every day about the financial part of buying a home because there's so many nuances. There are so many different types of loans. There's so many different types of buyers. But these are the basics that we will cover today. So next, let's see. Okay, so gathering your documents. What does that mean? So when you tell me, hey, Tiffany, I'm ready to buy. I want to buy in the next 6 months. Let's go look at houses. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, congratulations on your decision to buy a new home. I'm so excited for you. First things first. Are you going to pay cash for this transaction? Have you spoken with a lender? Are you going to pay cash for this transaction? How do you plan on paying for this transaction? One of those questions will come out of my mouth. And if you say I'm paying cash for this transaction, I would say, great. How much cash do you have? How much would you like to spend, right? And we'll go off on a tangent there. If you say, well, thank you for the compliment, but I will actually be getting a mortgage, then I say, okay, great. So I need to connect you with one of my team members who is a lender partner. I was going to call him while I was on here, but I was like, let me not put him on the spot. And I didn't tell him I was doing this. So one of my lender partners, I'm sure you've seen him in my videos. I would put you on a 3-way text with that lender partner, and he will take it away from there. So one of the things that kind of, in my experience, I've seen hold up a process from getting to the next step, which is pre-approval, is gathering all the documents that my lender needs to get you. Hi, Terrell. Thanks for coming in. I'm talking about buyers and all the documents you need to get a mortgage. So come on in. So yeah, gathering those documents. So this is a great thing that I put inside my buyer consultation that even before I connect you with my lender, you will know, Tiffany said, I need my recent pay stubs. So if you have a job that provides you with pay stubs, please find them. Please download them from Paylocity. What else is there? I used to have a W-2 job. Paylocity was one of them that we used. There's so many different ones, okay? You have to remember your password. You have to remember how to download those things, right? Sometimes it starts acting up. I've had buyers tell me, oh, I can't get the PDF to download. You see what I'm saying? It's prep work that you'll have to do. So gathering your documents, finding your recent pay stubs, W-2s or tax returns. You need those, right? If you are not, if you're a W-2 employee, great. That will be probably the same place that your 1099, that your pay stubs were. But if you're a 1099, my brain was literally jumping ahead of me. But if you're 1099 or you have your own company, if you're a real estate agent like myself, I'm 1099. If you, my trucking clients, I have a lot of clients who drive trucks and basically they're 1099. So they have to figure out how to get their tax returns. They're business owners, right? So they have to figure out how to get their tax returns pulled from, this is not a plug for any of these places, but H&R Block, TurboTax. They have to find which folder of all the million folders that is on their desktop that they have their tax returns in when my lender asks for them. Hi, O'Neill, Oliver, thanks for coming. I'm talking about buyers and the documents that you need. So, yeah, so just think about that process. And then there are different types of loans. So some loans require bank statements. So you say, well, I have my banking statement on my app. How do I get it off? You got to download that PDF. Okay, so I just feel like every time I speak to a lender about a client, I'm like, hey, I sent you Bob Joe. How is he doing? Is he getting everything that he needs to you? You know, like, how's it going? He's like, oh man, let me look. Oh, it looks like I'm missing some documents from him. Oh, it looks like he still hasn't gotten me some pay stub, some tax return. I still haven't seen proof of funds documents. So I would say start to gather those documents, start to gather. I one time took a buyer course before I was a real estate agent, and they made us practice while we were on Zoom going into our Paylocity, H&R Block, TurboTax, and actually finding where we should download those things and saving it in a file. They made us practice because it's such a big thing. So, and then government issued ID. When you're buying a house, we need to know what your real name is, not what your mama and them call you. So if you could give me your passport or your driver's license, that'd be very helpful. So if anyone has any question on those things, but I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's just the heavy lift of signing in and getting the documents downloaded and then putting them in the email or in the portal that the lender wants you to and sending them on their way. So, okay, I won't beat that horse because that horse is dead, okay? Get your documents together. Next is pre-approval, proof of funds. This is what I get excited about because pre-approval means we are on our way. Now, is the pre-approval, let's back up. Pre-approval versus proof of funds. So pre-approval for buyers financing their purchase through a lender, like we talked about. If you're getting a mortgage, even if you have some cash, you will get a pre-approval from your lender. If you're a cash buyer and you will be purchasing without a mortgage, then you just need proof of funds. So that could be from your banking institution, that could be from your stocks and bonds, it could be from wherever you have your $5 million at, we need to know. It could be a certified letter. So pre-approvals show how serious a buyer is to the seller, especially when a home is being resold, right? But that's any place, you know, even new construction. So let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything here. Pre-approval. Yeah, it shows that you're serious. It shows that you're qualified. It shows that you, buyer, are ready to move forward with getting your brand new house, right? So I think one thing that people need to realize that a pre-approval is not a commitment, right? You're not locked into anything. It's just information, and the information is a leverage in real estate. If we know that you are pre-approved for $350,000, if we know that you're pre-approved for $760,000, well then great. We feel confident as we walk into a house that we are ready to negotiate, that we have the leverage, that we have the funds to get the deal done. It's just another piece of, it's like a little badge of honor. Like, by the way, I am pre-approved. So, so yeah, if you're planning to finance, that will be a huge first step for you, is getting that pre-approval, connecting you with one of my lender partners so you guys can figure out how you're going to borrow the money to purchase your first home. Yeah, so next step, is a filler word, sorry. Let's see, my next step, let's go to the next one. Doubling down on types of loans, okay? So we talked about the pre-approval, but not all loans are created equal. So you see 4 different types here. There are many more types than this. These 4 are the ones I hear of the most. 3 of these 4 I've actually worked with. So I'm sure you can guess which ones. So I've worked with conventional. I've worked with FHA, which even FHA has different types of FHA loans. And I've worked with VA. Now, again, I just want to say this, that I do Zoom meetings. Yes, O'Neill, we should do a Zoom, right? So then I can see all y'all's faces. What? Okay, tell me this. Sorry, pause on this. O'Neill, tell me, when is the best time I should do a Zoom? And do you want like a one-on-one Zoom so you can ask me questions? Or would you prefer like many people in the Zoom so you can also hear other people's questions? So yeah, tell me, write me a DM or write it down here so I can know, because that's a good, I'm trying to figure out what you guys need, because let me tell you something, you guys DM me a lot of questions. And so I thought, go live and answer some of the questions that you see coming in the DMs, and people will be happier than their DMs sitting for a week or 2 because they be sitting. Okay, but good question, O'Neill. Thank you. Let me know what you want to see in a Zoom meeting. Let me know if you want the Zoom meeting to be one-on-one, and let me know if you want it to be just a group Zoom meeting that we just all get on for 30 minutes, chit chat, get to know each other, and you guys can just spitfire questions at me. Let me know. Okay, good question. Okay, so back to these types of loans. So conventional, FHA, VA. I am not a lending professional. I have a team of lenders that I work with. But with that being said, let's go over some of these types of loans. So people sometimes assume there's only one option, and that's just not true. So this is the most common for strong credit. It has more flexible down payment options, and I would say more competitive rates, and that's your conventional loan. So right now, interest rates, everyone, let's talk about interest rates. Interest rates, yeah, they're still over 6 if you're going the conventional route. Now, if you're with a new builder, I've seen as low as 2.99. Some woman the other day was telling me she got a 1.8 with a new construction. So there are deals to be had out there, because I don't want to hear the excuse anymore, people, about interest rates, because there are deals to be made even with the interest rates where they are right now. Okay, it's on you to ask the question. If you're like, hey, the interest rates are too high, where can I get a lower interest rate? That's what I want to start hearing from buyers in 2026. Okay, where can I get a lower interest rate? And I was saying, you know what, buyer, I'm so glad you asked. Let me show you where we can get a lower interest rate than 6. I think it's 6.1 right now, or 6.2 or something like that. Okay. Okay, so that's conventional. So FHA is great for people who possibly don't have a 5-10% down payment. And that's another thing. Let's talk about that really quick. If you ever assume that you had to put 20% down, no, you do not have to put, think about that. 20% down on, I think the median home price right now is like 345, around there. 20% of 345, I mean, I like simple math. 20% of $345,000. So 10% is 34,000. So 20% would be double of that, would be $68,000. I don't know about you, but I don't have $68,000 just laying around yet. Okay? Get some more of these sales, then maybe I'll come back to you. But jokes aside, most people don't have $68,000 laying around, right? Most people don't want to put all of their leverage into boom. I would just want to use that for a down payment for a house. So you don't need 20% down. Let's talk about what actually you need. And that's another thing. Like buyers in 2026, we're not assuming anything. We're asking a professional. We assume that you don't know. That's what I want you to assume in 2026. Assume that you don't know and that you need to ask a professional, whether it be me or your local real estate agent. I prefer you to ask me, obviously, because I want you to be taken care of. But I want you to ask the question and try to, instead of having these limiting beliefs, these irrational fears that you cannot get a house because you need 20%. No, that is not what we're doing in 2026. Okay? So we're being rational. We're asking the question. So back to FHA loans. So FHA loans are great for first-time home buyers. They're great for a lower down payment. You only need to put down like 3.5%. So remember, we just did the math on 20%. So now 3.5%. Let's see. Simple math is, let's see, 10% of 345 would be 34,000. 5%, which would be half of that, would be like 17,000. So then think about even half of 17,000. So like if you could bring 8 to 10,000 to the table. You see what I'm saying? See how we whittled that all the way down? We went from 68,000, which is 20% of $345,000 home, to now all the way to 8 to 10,000 to the table. You see how those limiting beliefs, those fears that you don't have enough money to do something, can get in the way of actual reality? Reality is, bring me $10,000 and let's get you a house. Okay? All right, so yeah. DM me on that. And it has more flexible credit guidelines. So if your credit has had some dings in the past, and now you're like, Tiffany, I'm working my way back up to whatever number you're at right now. Okay, great. FHA might be a good idea for you. And the last one that I'll talk about, because USDA I have never used, and I would be remiss if I got on here and acted like I knew what to do with that. That's why I have lender partners. That's why I have people who work alongside me, and you can ask them. Tiffany will ask the question. Okay, I ask a million questions to my partners. These I'm talking about these because I've used them before. So VA. So if you're a veteran or an active military, this is one of the benefits available. Often VA loans have great benefits. Okay, so some have no down payment, some have no PMI. Again, my lender that I work with, Greg Hamby specifically, he is a beast. He is great when it comes to VA loans, all loans. But when it comes to VA loans, he has taught me so much. So that's all I'll say about that. When I don't know something, I will make sure I find out for you in confidence. Or if I'm not sure about something, or if I heard something, or if you tell me something that you saw on TikTok, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right, let me find out. I have people on my team that I can ask, whether it be lender partners, local realtors, or anyone else. So yeah, so basically you don't need to memorize any of this. So that's my job and your lender's job. We're just letting you know what options exist. So again, you don't have those limiting beliefs of, well, if I can't do this, I'm not gonna be able to do it. No, there are always options. So let me move on from here, because I feel like we can go all day long with different types of loans, because there are so many other loans. I'm sure you guys heard about investor loans, DSCR loans, bank statement loans. There's a million different types of loans. Our job is, hey, you want that house? Let me see what is the best financial product for you to use to get that house with your current situation, right? Okay, so next. So this is my last slide for today, but basically this is talking about additional costs. So we talked about down payment. Okay, now when you hear people say closing costs, and people love to say, okay, wait, closing costs? Or I just got a text from a builder today, hey, by the way, we're paying up to 6% of the closing costs, up to 5% of the closing costs. Okay, this is what comes with the closing, right? So outside of your closing costs, you might have moving expenses, which everyone should know moving expenses are your own. So closing costs are typically 2 to 5%. So these are under the umbrella of additional costs, but that's why the builder was texting me today saying, hey, if you have any clients, we're doing, I think she said either 5 or 6% in closing costs for the client. So that means they're basically giving you money to help you close, right? Appraisal. Appraisal is something that your lender orders for you, and it has to do with the value of the house, right? So I don't know if you guys heard this, but during COVID, there was a bidding war for certain houses, right? So let's say a house originally was priced at 200,000, but 7 people wanted that house. Well, it went to a bidding war. You guys heard of an auction, so it went from 200,000, 250,000, 350,000, 325,000. It just kept going up and up and up. So when they finally accepted the offer on the house, let's say the house went all the way up with 7 offers. Maybe you started at 200, maybe you went up to 275, 285. Well, then if you're financing that, now if you're paying cash for the house, cool, you can do whatever you want with your cash. But if someone is allowing you to borrow money to get the house, they want to make sure that investment is worth that much, right? So they went, looked at the house, looked at the area, looked at the comps, pulled all this information, which we can talk about later, and mostly we talk about on the sell side, but I think we talk about comps here on the buy side. The most is at appraisal. They use the market value, and other things having to do with the house to say, hey, this house is worth $250. So if they say the house is worth $250 and you agreed to pay, did we say $285? $285, $275, who's going to make up that gap? Well, during COVID, what people were doing, let's say it was $275 and $250. If the house appraised for $250 and your offer was $275 and you wanted to accept that offer, what I heard was happening, because I wasn't licensed then, but I've heard in my mother's license that what they were doing is making up that gap in cash. Like, okay, I'll just give you the $25,000. I won't borrow it. Or the deal essentially did not happen because the bank was not willing to overpay for the house, overpay for the value of the house. So anyway, that's what appraisal is for. I feel like $700 is a little high. I just had a buyer, and I believe on their itemized list, the appraisal was like 600. So I mean, I guess that's not too far off, but 700. Let's say approximately 700. And then home inspection, these range. Okay, I have vendors that are, one of my vendors I think is at 600. One of my vendors I got 450. So again, these numbers are approximately, and that's why we put that up there. But so you have to pay for the home inspection. Home inspection, I feel like I could do a whole seminar on a home inspection, because there are so many things that I have learned. There's so many things that have come up with the home inspection. I mean, even when you're buying new construction, because I love a good new construction. You guys know what I tour. I love new construction. You would be surprised at the things that come up on the home inspection for a new construction with the roof, things that are missing, things that are not glued properly, things that are not up to standard, things that, maybe the city of Houston does, but the city of Spring doesn't. So things just come up. on the home inspection report. So you definitely want to pay for that. Even if you have a new construction home, you owe it to yourself to know the guts of your home are in a good place. You deserve to know that the roof is in a good place. You deserve to know, heck, you deserve to know where there are splash blocks missing. Even if the builder makes you get your own splash blocks, which with my first deal, I was like, she's just not gonna know where to get a splash block. Can you please just put them? And they put them. But even if it's down to something like a splash block, your gutter runs down to the grass, and the splash block is the little cement that it flows onto instead of making a puddle right there. Okay, so even if it's down to that, you deserve to know where there are splash blocks missing. You deserve to know where there's uneven foundation, cracks in the foundation. You deserve to know that your HVAC in the attic, the cover is sealed and you're not going to be able to change the little bent thing. You deserve to know all that. And I'm literally recounting the pages of home inspections that I have read. What other crazy stuff have I read on a home inspection? You deserve to know, when I was helping a client build a house, you deserve to know if the frame is too close to each other or if the frames are too far apart. So, when they put everything on the frame, now your roof, something's sagging because it's too far apart. You deserve to know that. Okay? And you deserve to make a decision whether you want to keep it or you don't want to keep it. Or we deserve to go back to that builder and say, hey, builder, this home is, let me get something that's a piece of paper. This home inspection report says that these lines, these frames here are too far apart. What are you going to do about that, builder? How are you going to fix that? How are you going to remedy it? Because to me, it's all a conversation. It's nothing, everything is negotiable. Okay, let me tell you that right now. There was a situation where we went to a walkthrough. The team went through a walkthrough for a house, and the tub was cracked. And the builder was like, yeah, so your house is done, la, 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 la. We was like, skirt, the tub is cracked. And they were like, oh, now come on. See? That's why you need a real estate agent to advocate for you. Okay, but anyway, that's also why you need a home inspection. Everyone needs a home inspection. But that's a whole, I feel like that is a definitely, I gotta write that down. We could spend 30 minutes. Well, thank you, Mr. YOLO. You only live once. He said, keep doing, I'm sure y'all can read this, but it says, keep doing your thing. Wish much success in 2026 and beyond. Thank you, Mr. YOLO. Hey, Mr. YOLO, send me some buyers and sellers so I can keep being successful. Okay? And so I can put all this knowledge to use. You see, I got all this knowledge. I got all these things in my head. I have all these ideas in my head. I have all these things I want to help buyers do. I have all these deals. I'm sure y'all see me tour. Now I'm done with this. Let me see what else is on here. Let me make sure. Okay, before I go off on a tangent, let me just wrap up real quick. So we went through types of loan, we went through documents, we went through additional costs. So the best first step for all of this is connecting with the lender. When you come to me and tell me, hey, Tiffany, I want to buy a house, or I think I want to buy a house, I'm going to have a buyer consultation with you, right? And I'm going to run through these 5 steps way quicker than we ran through today. Like literally today I was breaking down just finances, but the first step on that is finances. And that's gathering your documents, knowing how much cash you have, knowing your credit, and mapping out a plan. What's your advice for a non-citizen who wants to finance a house? That is a good question, Sam. Thank you for asking that. Okay, so non-citizens who want to finance a house. Well, let's talk about this. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but we talked about gathering the documents. How are you sourcing your income? Because that's what a bank is looking at. So do you have W-2s? Do you have bank statement? Is all your money stashed in a mattress? let's start there first, because that's what a lender is going to want to know. A lender, I mean, there's there's a place on the contract where it asks you if you're a citizen or not. So what does that tell you? Non-citizens can buy houses. We just They just want to know, the lender, right? Because you're financing the house. The lender wants to know, where how are you going to pay this note? How are you going to pay your mortgage? How have you been paying your bills? Where is your source of income? That's a great question, Sam. And Sam, send me a text, babes. Send me a text, 713-805-9650, and let's have a one-on-one consultation. Someone asked me earlier, do you do Zoom calls? I'm like, I can. Y'all want me to do Zoom calls? This was just because I have so many DMs right now. I have so many DMs right now, and I said I'm gonna hop on here. I have W-2 and work study. Sam, you Gucci baby. Where are you? I'm gonna DM you after this. You're good. You have a W-2? That's good. How long you been working there, Sam? You should be good to go. But I started this because I have so many DMs. I had so many buyers asking me so many questions. And I said, how can I get to everybody while still servicing my current clients, while still taking the classes? Y'all know I love classes, and I'm still doing my home tours. Like, there's not enough hours in the day. And y'all know I'm a mom. I'm a mommy. I'm a mom. So today I'm here late at the office because today is not my day. So my child is off being a child with someone else. So today I can say, you know what, Tuesdays I'm going to try to jump on lives while it's quiet, while I have the time. So, but I forgot. I went off on a tangent. I answered Sam's question. I know I answered that. He told me it's W-2. Sam, you're good. You're W-2. I don't know how long you've been working that W-2 job, but it sounds like you have a source of income. So we can put you in front of a lender and see what you qualify for, you know? And that's why I work with a team of people, because the lender will be able to tell us even more in depth. So, Sam, if you do text me, I will connect you with my lender partner, and he will be able to tell you for sure what you need to get to. He will help you map out a plan, right? And that's what this whole live has been about, is mapping out a plan for your finances when you start your home buying journey, right? Let me see. I know I was wrapping up. What else was I supposed to say? Mapping out a plan. This whole plan will give you clarity and confidence. Some people tell me, oh, I'm not buying until next year. It's not about timing. It's about knowledge. Okay. What you don't know right now could hurt you next year. So let's go ahead and get the knowledge. Let's go ahead and connect. And then by next year, you will be confident, you will be clear, and you will have a plan mapped out. Like, it's January and people are talking about resolutions. And, oh, you're welcome, Sam. You're so nice. You know what, Cedric? I'm about to bring you up here because you are super knowledgeable. And Cedric, you have helped me so much. I did not talk about DTI. I talked about credit. I did not go deep into debt to income ratio. What do I want to say about DTI? If it's 75%, it's not good. And I say that because I recently had clients that their DTI was about that high. So debt to income ratio, we can talk about that real quick. Let's see. If you have spent, I'm trying to say this nicely, if you have spent above your means and what you owe to your car, to a credit card, in collections, is more than you bring in as far as income, debt to income ratio, the bank is going to say, hold on now. Why would we give you more money? And so basically that's what DTI is in the nicest way. In the nicest way. Can I bring you up here? Are you in your pajamas? Like, let me see. It said I could bring people up. Let me see. Yes. Oh, add, send request. Now I'm just fooling around because I'm done with my presentation. I feel like I did good. This is my second live, and I feel like y'all enjoyed it. All 12 of y'all that was on here or less. I don't know if Seth is actually going to come up, but he is very knowledgeable on all things home buying. I put him on the spot because he put me on the spot. So maybe he's not going to come. Are you going to come? Bring them on video. Oh. I don't know what's happening. Y'all know me in tech. Okay. He declined. Okay. This guest declined the live video invitation. Womp, womp, womp. But yeah, I feel like I covered DTI pretty well right there. If you have more questions about it, feel free to send me a text message. Y'all love sending me DMs. And if it's not an emergency, then I guess it could wait in my DMs for a week or two. But if you feel like you have a burning question, then please text me 713-805-9650. Please text me because then I will get back to you quicker. Like, I have so many DMs. Okay, so yeah, it's been 46 minutes, people. And I know the first like 10 minutes on YouTube, I was just chit-chatting. I'm sharing this. But I feel like I did good today. So yeah. So this is the one of many lives that I'll be doing because I actually enjoy sitting here talking to you guys. I love that you guys actually asked me questions. That was nice. And I got some things to take away. Like, for example, I need to add DTI. Thank you, sir, to my presentation because that wasn't in my presentation before. And then Sam asked me about non-citizens. That was a great question because that wasn't in my presentation before. But Sam, you have a job, so you're good to go, boo. Mr. YOLO, you're just being so nice. Thank you. Someone said can't come on. Okay, that's fine. And then O'Neill, you asked me if I do Zooms. Well, I could, give the people what they want. So anyway, that's it. Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for listening to part 1 of home buying, which is finances. And once you get your finances together, once your DTI is, I think most of them require below 40%. I could be wrong. But yeah, once you do that, we get a pre-approval, or you bring your cash from your mattress that you're going to buy a home with. We can start part 2, which is the home search, which that's what everybody wants to do, right? Everybody wants to go look at homes. But there's also a process to that. So we'll talk about that next time. Okay, bye.